Hello students, in trick number 121 today, we are going to deal with some problems of decimals which can be solved in very short interval of time using a small shortcut. Now these problems are especially important for competitive exams, and if you do not know the shortcuts for these problems, then obviously these problems are going to consume a lot of time in exams. The first kind of problem which I am going to take is based on identities. Say we have a particular problem in which the squares of two numbers, that is the decimal numbers, say we have 7.83 square and 2.17 square, are subtracted. Normally in competitive exams, these kind of questions involve two numbers, decimal numbers, whose sum or difference is a round figure. That is purposely given in competitive exams because if you know the shortcut, you will be able to solve that orally also. Now here we observe that 7.83 and 2.17, the sum of these two numbers is exactly 10. So there has to be a shortcut which involves the use of 10. Now in the denominator, we are given the difference of these two numbers. Now by traditional method, if you square the numbers, then take the difference, then take the difference in the denominator and then divide, it will consume not less than 2 minutes to solve this, and the accuracy of the answer is not guaranteed. So by having a small shortcut, we can solve this in a matter of just 3 seconds. Yes, just 3 seconds. Now this is actually identity based question in which we have to identify the particular identity which is being applied here. Now this is a square minus b square, which is a minus b into a plus b. So we can get rid of this negative, this difference in the denominator, and we will have the solution as only the sum of the two terms which are there as bases in the numerator. So if you know this identity, you will be able to solve this in 2 seconds time. Only you have to add the bases of the two terms which is given in the numerator. So answer is 10. Likewise, you can have some more questions, say 4.38 whole square, or we can take little bit higher term, say 6.38 whole square, then difference with 3.62 whole square. Now again you see the sum of these two bases is 10. Again the difference is there, and in the denominator the same two terms are added. Now when there is the addition sign in the denominator, the solution will involve just taking the difference of the two terms in the numerator. So you can solve this very easily now. Take the difference and you will have the answer. Similarly, you can have some questions which are based on different identity. Now this was identity a square minus b square. Now you can have a cube minus b cube also. Say we have 2.48 whole cube and the difference with 0.5 whole cube, and in the denominator now you will have a term which automatically gets cancelled when you apply this identity. So in the denominator you have the square of 2.48, then the product of 2.48 with 0.5, that is 1.24, and square of 0.5. Now again this looks to be a very big question if you do not know the use of identities, but if you know the use of identities, so a cube minus b cube will have one term a minus b, and the remaining bracket, the other factor, is there in the denominator. So we don't need to calculate the cubes, just write the difference of these two terms in the numerator and you will have the answer, which is 1.98. See, no cubing, no dividing, no squaring, and we get the answer in 2 seconds only. Likewise, we can have some more questions like Now there is a simplification question wherein we have to find the value of a particular variable. Say we have 29.42 multiplied by 29.42. Now again 29.42 whole square. Now the thing is very clear that we are going to have an identity which involves the use of a square, plus say we have 29.42 multiplied by x. Now we have to find this x now, and in the second term we have third term, 0.58 into 0.58. Now if you observe this identity here, this term, suppose I call this as a, and this term I call this as b. So the entire first term is actually a square, because this is a into a, and the third term is plus b into b, that is b square. Here you have the same term, so a is already there. So if you want to convert this into an identity, then we need to have this as 2b, because then it will become a plus b whole square. Now in place of this x we have this 2b. The question is, we have to find the value of x for which this expression becomes a perfect square. So that is the question given. So you have this value of x as 2b, only then it will become a perfect square. So what was b? b was 0.58. So your answer will be twice of 0.58, which is 1.16. That is the value of x. These are particular kinds of problems, which are involved, which are included in this competitive exams, especially because they involve the use of shortcuts. And knowledge of shortcuts is very, very important for solving these type of problems. Now let us take one more problem. Say we have a decimal 0.125 and we have a non-terminating repeating decimal. This is 125 bar. So it means 0.125, 125, 125, 125 is repeated n times. Now we have to express this in the form of a rational p by q. Now to express this in the form of p by q, we need to have a shortcut again, because at class 8th and 9th level the students are taught this method to represent a non-terminating decimal in the form of p by q by using a traditional method which is very long. So just by looking at this we can find the decimal of this expression. Say here in the denominator we will have the direct answer here. So in the denominator we have, just see how many terms are repeating. Now 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5. So 1, 2, 5, 3 terms are repeating, 3 digits. So we have 3 9s in the denominator. So number of 9s in the denominator will be equal to the number of digits which are repeating. And in the numerator, see, observe that there is a 0 here. So things become simpler. So what we do is, the term which is repeating 125, that will automatically come in the numerator. This is only when there is a 0 here. If the number is different, then little bit of difference will be there, and that difference we can just study by assuming one more number. This is the answer, 125 by 999, which is the rational number representation of 0.125 bar. Now suppose we have 8.26 bar. Now we have 26 being repeated here. Okay. Now for finding the answer here, okay, the number of digits repeated is 2. So in the denominator we will have 99. That step is same in both the cases. But here in place of 0 you have a definite number, that is 8. So what we do is, we just forget the decimal and the bar. Forget the decimal and the bar. So we are left with the number 826, and just subtract the number which is before the decimal place, that is 8. Difference of these two will give you the numerator of the answer, that is 818. So your representation in rational form is 818 upon 99. So this is very simple method wherein a decimal repeating number can be expressed in the form of p by q. So I hope you have learned a lot of things from this. These are particular decimal problems which are very often asked in competitive exams, and all these problems with little bit of practice can be solved in a matter of just 2 to 3 seconds. So keep learning, keep enjoying, and share and subscribe the video if you like it.